I got a treat for you guys today. I'm gonna show you how to Shammgod in the ultimate tutorial. Gonna be hands down the best tutorial you're gonna see on YouTube, because I'm gonna break down how to do it the more flashy type of street ball way, how to do it the more fundamental way, and I'm also gonna give you 5 nasty counter moves for the Shammgod. First one is gonna be, I'm gonna show you the more flashy way, the way it kind of got started. You would push the ball out to whichever side that has the basketball to start with. So if I have my right hand with the basketball, I'm gonna push it out to that side. Just make sure your hand doesn't come over halfway under the ball. Sometimes I'll see guys set it up like this, where they'll roll it like that. You can't do it that way, that's a carry. The more street ball way, you would kind of leave it out there for a second to try to bait the defender to go for the basketball. Or sometimes guys would also kind of cover more ground with their feet while they're doing this, okay? Either way though, you wanna kind of leave the ball exposed for a second. And what you're trying to do is get the defender to reach for the basketball. So when they go reaching for it, you come back this way. Now that second part is key. Obviously you gotta get to the basketball before the defender does. And you also have to know how to do the dribble. Whichever hand started the dribble, the other hand's gonna come get the basketball, okay? That hand's gonna come over top of the basketball here and a little bit to this side, almost like in your V dribble. Actually exactly like your side to side V dribble. This part where you're pulling it back. Now you can mess with the angle. You could do this to go into more of a step back, but I really like to use it to blow by my defender. That's the way most guys use it. So when the defender's coming this way reaching, you're coming the opposite direction, creating a ton of separation, and they look foolish. You can mess around with the footwork. Typically though, whichever hand started the Shammgod, that foot you want to plant with so you can really push out to that direction. I've seen other guys though, they'll mix it up. They'll do it more with the same side foot as the hand that's doing the second dribble, okay? And then for that one, most times you're gonna have to do it more as a step back. You're gonna have a little bit harder time changing directions this way off that foot. All right, let's talk about how to do it the more fundamental way. To do it the more fundamental way, you don't wanna leave the ball as exposed, and you don't wanna take as many little choppy steps on the setup. Typically, you wanna do it a little bit lower with the setup, more of your hand over the top of the basketball, just kind of push it out to that direction to make it seem like you're about to drive this way. So it's more of a drive fake than a bait fake. You can do it though. Sometimes you'll see guys like Kyrie where they'll push it up a little bit higher and push it out a little bit further, but they're not gonna be as flashy with the setup and leave it as exposed for as long. So there's 2 ways you could go about the footwork. You could either A, whichever hand's starting, just step out with that foot, or B, step with the opposite foot and then that first foot that's doing the dribble, okay? So left, right. The other key thing you want to pay attention to is your defender's feet. To make it more effective as far as, you know, trying to like get them to go flying and making it quick and sharp, you want to try to get past one of their 2 feet with this, okay? If I got my defender right here, typically I would try to find which foot's their lead foot, which basically means whichever foot is closer. So if this foot is closer, I want to attack this foot. Because what's gonna happen then is I'm behind his back a little bit, right? Because he's turned. So he's either gonna A, have to drop this foot hard, that's where he gets his ankles broken, or B, he's gonna have to spin all the way around in a circle, and then when I change directions here, he's gonna be spinning that way, while I'm coming this way, he's gonna look foolish. Okay, you definitely need some combos for this, because what's gonna happen is, once you pull it off for the first time, you're probably gonna get addicted to the move, and you're gonna wanna do it all the time. Problem with it is, you start doing it too much. When the defender sees this setup, they know right away, oh, he's gonna come back this way, and they don't bite on going for the basketball or this movement in this direction, and they're just gonna wait for you over here. So you gotta have counter moves. First counter move you're gonna wanna have is simple, but there's some details you wanna pay attention to. This key will make the difference between it working and not working. You're gonna do the Shammgod like normal, but you don't wanna come up way out high here, because what's gonna happen is if you come from the Shammgod way up here, the defender's gonna be able to get set up and react to your counter move. It's gonna start the same, 1, 2, but when the basketball comes here, you wanna meet down low here with your hand so you can push it back to this direction right away. That timing is huge, because what's gonna happen is, as you're pulling the ball this way, your defender's gonna start to shift that way, right? And if you push it back across right away, you could start moving this way as they're shifting that way. Versus, if you come up here, now I gotta change directions much later, my defender has time to set up and he can shift right back with me. But if I pop it down low, I can blow by my defender. Try not to meet it low and hang out with the dribble either. Meet it low, push it quick. Also, notice the footwork. Setup's gonna be the same, using this opposite foot. This foot's gonna step forward as this hand is getting the ball on the outside, okay? So here, and then push off this leg. Okay, this next one is sick. But before we get into it, make sure to click that like button and leave me a comment down below. Let me know who you think the best player in the game is right now with their Shammgods. So this setup is gonna give the defender sort of a twist, something unexpected. If you keep going into this setup, they're gonna see it coming, right? So what's one way you can mess with it a little bit to make it so the defender doesn't see it coming? Change the setup dribble, right? What we're gonna do with this is we're gonna go with a behind the back to set it up. If you would typically set it up with your right hand, you would set it up now with your left hand. Everything after that's gonna be pretty much the same. There's gonna be the same footwork involved, right? This foot steps out. You're just changing that setup dribble. Now keep in mind, for the behind the back, it can't be to the side so much, right? You're trying to bait the defender with this a little more, or at the very least move forward. Either way, you gotta wrap the ball so it comes forward. So key tip I can give you, and it might sound funny, but slap your opposite side butt. So if your left hand's doing the dribble, slap your right butt. So that way the ball wraps forward. But it's just a nasty way to set it up, and it looks sick. Now keep in mind, this is a little bit more flashy, so some coaches might not like it, but if you do it again more quick and tight, you'll probably be good to go, and your coach probably won't have a problem with it as long as you're not overusing it. All right, this next counter is nasty. I like doing this one around 15 feet to set up quick jump shots. You're gonna wanna probably set this up, whichever hand you shoot with, set it up with the opposite hand, and the footwork will work out nicely. You can quickly go into a shot. So I'm a lefty, so I'm gonna show you with my right hand. The setup's gonna be much tighter and lower. All the details as far as like footwork, timing, all that's gonna be the same. I'm just gonna push the ball out. I'm gonna step out almost at the exact same time. I'm gonna push it out low. This other hand's gonna get it low. The other thing you wanna pay attention to is you also wanna step forward just a little more with this foot than the other one, okay? So we're gonna come here to really sell the defender to think that we're gonna come this way to explode past them and kind of startle them, right? Boom, boom. And then we're gonna hit them with behind the back, bring this foot back in, and then you have your easy jump shot. The reason I wanted you to start with the opposite hand of your shooting hand doing the setup is because if you'll notice, when this foot steps forward, now I just gotta step in a little bit with that foot. Got this foot slightly forward for my shot, because if you watch the best shooters, typically they're gonna have their shooting side foot slightly forward. One final key tip on that behind the back, make sure you make that quick too, because if you do all this quick and then this behind the back is slow, your defender's gonna have time to react, close out on that shot. So you wanna make sure this step forward here is quick and low, and that you lean into it a little bit to get them to think that you're gonna go forward and either jump back or get them to freeze up. And then you have to pound that behind the back hard. So keep it low, but make it hard. Try to get it up to about waist height, so that way, when it gets into this hand, you can just step back in and quickly go into that shot. All right, this next one's my personal favorite, but before I get into it, click that subscribe button if you're digging the video so far, and make sure you click that little bell icon to get on that notification squad so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out. They're all gonna help you improve big time. So this next one is an original one I came up with. It's called the Snake Cross. My old school followers that have been with me for a while would know I have a street ball nickname, that's Snake. The setup is again gonna be the exact same as the original Shammgod. This is just like a quicker counter move. It's even quicker than going into that quick kill cross to come back. Push it out like normal. That's gonna be exactly the same. Hand's gonna come over the top of the basketball, exactly the same. But what we're gonna do to make it quicker, instead of going 1-2 dribbles, we're gonna come right from this and transition right back to that direction in 1 dribble, making it quicker. So the key is your hand movement on it. Now I know already I'm gonna have some people wondering, Coach, is this a carry? Can I do this? Is this illegal? It is legal, But the key you gotta pay attention to is that your hand doesn't come over halfway under the ball on this side, and especially when you come and pull it across, which is what's gonna happen. You're gonna come from here in air and push it across this side. You gotta make sure your hand doesn't come under. One thing though to keep in mind, a lot of players haven't seen this move before. Coaches haven't seen this before. A lot of refs probably haven't seen this before. Again, this is a move I came up with. If you do it, you might get called for something just because it looks so weird and unorthodox. Now, maybe 10 years from now, this will start to become more of a common move and people will be okay with it. But for the time being, some people might not like it. So you gotta keep that in mind. But I'm gonna give you a variation now on how to do it to make it okay. The only thing you're gonna change is instead of coming from here, you don't wanna bring it out real wide and come across and then push it. Instead of making it a big motion, just make it more tight, okay? So basically just turning your hand, moving the ball a little bit this direction and then pushing it back right away. It's not gonna look nearly as exaggerated. You're much less likely to get called for a carry. Now just to make sure you're doing it right, to make it effective, let's talk about the footwork real quick. Same setup, this foot's gonna be forward, and just like in the double cross, or the kill cross I should say, this foot's gonna come forward. So pretty much all that's gonna remain the same. You're just changing that hand motion. All right, this last move is called the Uncle Drew Deluxe. It's not actually called, that's just the name I gave it, but it's a move Kyrie Irving, if you don't know, he's Uncle Drew. He did this in the commercials for the Pepsi Max commercials. What it's gonna be is a Shammgod setup exactly the same. Whichever hand is dribbling the ball, that same side foot's gonna come forward. This one's gonna be quicker, tighter, lower though, so you don't wanna really push it out super far, just a little bit, okay? From there, when the opposite hand gets the basketball, the opposite foot's gonna come forward as this hand's pulling it back. So as you'll notice, ball comes back, foot comes forward. And you're gonna be Shammgodding it between your legs. So just like this, forward, forward with the feet, forward, back with the basketball, okay? Just like that. Key tip I can give you is you wanna make this quick, low, and tight, right? And you wanna be able to do it without having to look at the basketball, so you can look at your defender and then you're gonna hit him with the behind the back to blow by him. So to get consistent with that setup, to go into that behind the back, you gotta know that the basketball is gonna end up in the same spot every time, right? What you wanna do is tap the inside of that leg as it's coming forward and you're releasing the basketball, tap right there. What that'll do is give you a consistent release so the ball ends up in the same spot every time and you can quickly go into that behind the back. So just like that. One last thing, with the behind the back, I really like to go and do a shuffle with my feet. As you'll notice, I'm kind of shuffling them forward and I'm wrapping it a little bit more, just like that. So you can go 1, 2, 3 real quick with it, try to blow by your defender. Now, if you'll notice, the keys with this, all the other moves, you have to have the, work on the placement with the basketball, doing it tight, extending the ball out a little further. The footwork timing is important, the footwork placement is important, right? To sell your fakes. Now you have to get really good at that stuff if you want to destroy defenders. And if you really want to get good at destroying defenders, click the top link in the description down below. That'll help you work on all these keys with your handles so you can destroy defenders. That's a 100% free workout called the Defender Destroyer Workout. It's helped hundreds of players and I'm sure it'll help you too. Just click that link, pop in your email, and I'll send it to you instantly for free. Also, if you found this video helpful, make sure you check out this video and this playlist. You'll probably find those helpful as well. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and make moves today.